Let me tell you something nobody wants to say out loud. Money is important. Like, really, really important. And I know what you are thinking. That sounds greedy. That sounds shallow. That sounds like something a selfish person would say. But here's the truth. Pretending money does not matter is one of the most expensive lies you will ever believe. Because money is not just numbers in a bank account. Money is options. Money is time. Money is the ability to say yes to the things that matter and no to the things that do not. And today, I am going to show you exactly why money matters more than most people are willing to admit. Not because money is everything, but because without it, almost everything becomes harder. Welcome to Invest Framework, the channel where we break down money, wealth building, and financial freedom in the simplest way possible. If this video helps you see money differently today, hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it helps more people find this information. Let us get into it. Most people have a complicated relationship with money. They want it, but they feel guilty wanting it. They need it, but they are embarrassed to admit how much they need it. They spend their whole lives chasing it, but they tell themselves money does not really matter. And this contradiction right here, this is one of the biggest reasons people stay broke. Because here is what nobody tells you. You cannot want something you secretly feel bad about wanting. Your brain does not work that way. If deep down, you believe that wanting money makes you a bad person, you will unconsciously sabotage every opportunity to get it. You will spend it as fast as it comes in. You will avoid learning about it. You will dismiss people who have it. So before we talk about why money is important, we need to deal with the guilt first. Money is not good or bad. Money is neutral. It is simply a tool. A hammer is not good or bad. It depends on what you build with it. Money is exactly the same. In the hands of a generous person, money does more good. In the hands of a selfish person, money does more harm. The money itself is just the tool. You decide what gets built. Let us talk about something really personal. Your health. In a perfect world, your health would have nothing to do with your bank account. But we do not live in a perfect world. We live in the real one. And in the real world, money and health are deeply connected. Think about it. When you have money, you eat better, not because you are bougie, but because fresh food costs more than processed food. A bag of chips costs $1. A bag of apples costs $4. That is just the reality. When you have money, you can afford preventive health care, regular checkups, dental visits, eye exams, the things that catch problems early before they become expensive and life-threatening. When you have money, you can afford therapy, mental health care that most people skip, not because they do not need it, but because they cannot afford it. When you have money, you live with less chronic stress. And this one matters more than people realize. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of anxiety, depression, and physical illness in America. The American Psychological Association has consistently found that money is the #1 source of stress for Americans. Year after year, stress kills slowly. It damages the heart, weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep, affects relationships, and most of that stress comes from financial insecurity. So when someone says money cannot buy health, they are partially right. Money cannot cure everything, but the lack of it can certainly make you sick. Now let us talk about something even more personal. Your family. One of the most painful experiences a parent can have is not being able to give their child something they need. Not a toy, not a vacation, something they need. A better school in a safer neighborhood, medical care when they are sick, opportunities that other kids are getting just because their parents can afford them. Money gives you the ability to protect the people you love. If you have an emergency fund and your child gets sick, you take them to the doctor immediately without wondering how you are going to pay for it. If you do not have that buffer, you hesitate. And that hesitation, however brief, costs something that no amount of money can buy back. Peace of mind. Money also affects your relationships in ways most people never talk about. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of divorce in America. Couples fight about money more than almost anything else. Not because they do not love each other, but because financial pressure creates tension that slowly erodes even the strongest relationships. Being financially stable does not guarantee a happy family, but being financially unstable makes building one significantly harder. This is the one that most people feel most deeply. Freedom. Money buys you options, and options are freedom. When you have money, you can leave a job that is making you miserable. When you do not, you stay, not because you want to, but because you have no choice. When you have money, you can take a week off when you are burning out. When you do not, you push through, damaging your health, your creativity, your joy. When you have money, You can say no. No to toxic people. No to situations that disrespect you. No to opportunities that do not align with your values. The word no is one of the most powerful words in the English language, and financial security is what gives you the ability to use it freely. Think about the last time you did something you did not want to do purely because you needed the money, stayed at a job you hated, tolerated someone who disrespected you, skipped something important because you could not afford it. That feeling, that trapped feeling, is exactly what financial freedom eliminates. Money does not buy happiness directly, but it buys the freedom to pursue it. And that is not a small thing. That is everything. Here is one most people never think about: your impact on the world around you. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot donate to causes you believe in when you are living paycheck to paycheck. You cannot help your family when they are struggling if you are struggling too. You cannot invest in your community when every dollar is already spoken for. The people who change the world are almost always people who first built financial stability, not because money made them generous, but because financial freedom gave them the resources and the time to act on their generosity. Think about teachers who spend their own money on classroom supplies. Think about people who want to start foundations or charities but cannot because they are buried in debt. Think about the parent who wants to coach their kid's sports team but cannot because they are working a second job just to cover the bills. Money does not just change your life. When used intentionally, it changes the lives of everyone around you. Let us talk about opportunity, specifically, the opportunities that money creates and the ones that the lack of it destroys. Education. The best education in America is not free, and while there are exceptions and scholarships, the reality is that financial resources open educational doors that are simply closed to people without them. Entrepreneurship. Most businesses require startup capital. Most great ideas never become businesses because the person with the idea does not have access to money. Not because the idea was bad, because the resources were not there. Investing. Wealth builds wealth. The people who have money can invest it. Those investments grow. The growth creates more opportunity. The cycle compounds over decades. And the people who start with nothing face a steeper climb, not because they are less capable, but because the system rewards those who already have resources. This is not about politics. This is just math, which is exactly why building your financial foundation as early as possible is not optional. It is one of the most important things you can do for your future self. So after all of this, what do you actually do? First, stop feeling guilty about wanting financial stability. Wanting money for the right reasons is not greed. It is wisdom. Security for your family is not greed. Freedom to live on your terms is not greed. The ability to help others is not greed. These are deeply human desires, and money is simply the tool that makes them possible. Second, start somewhere. Not next year, not when you earn more. Now, even if it is just $10 a week going into a savings account, the habit is more important than the amount. Third, educate yourself about money consistently. Read one personal finance book this year. Watch one money education video every week. Small, consistent inputs create massive long-term results. Fourth, remember what money is actually for. Not for showing off, not for keeping score, for security, for freedom, for family, for impact. Keep those reasons in front of you, and financial discipline becomes much easier. Money is not the meaning of life, but it is deeply woven into how we experience it. Your health, your family, your freedom, your impact, your opportunities. All of these are touched by your financial situation, whether you acknowledge it or not. The question is never whether money matters. The question is whether you are going to take it seriously before life forces you to. Because one day, not maybe, one day, you will face a moment where having financial security makes all the difference. A medical emergency, a job loss, a family crisis, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And in that moment, you will either have the resources to handle it or you will not. The decision about which one of those you want to be starts today, not tomorrow, today. If this video made you think differently about money, even just a little bit, go ahead and hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Invest Framework for simple money lessons every single week, and share this with someone in your life who needs to hear this message today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.